In this video, we're going to have a look at how to create really interactive mobile menus. So this is the standard menu that you would get with Oxygen, and this is a menu that is much nicer for mobile. And as you can see, it highlights the page I'm on. If it's a subcategory, it opens the category and displays that subcategory menu item. If I'm on a standard page, it'll highlight that page. Just have a look at that now. We'll go to the shop page and you'll see that when the menu opens, it shows the page that I'm on. I can then also quite easily open and close any submenus. And if I scroll down, I can add an image, I can add a form, I can add pretty much whatever content I want within this menu item. You'll also see that the menu bar is fixed to the top of the page, so that no matter where I go in the website, the menu is always visible. The link to the menu is always visible. If I look at that on normal desktop view, you'll see that the menu isn't displayed and that it only displays then on the mobile view. So yeah, let me show you what the setup looks like and let's recreate this menu. Here's the basic setup. We have OxyExtras for the extra components that we need to create that menu. Then we have Oxygen elements for WooCommerce and WooCommerce. And if I look at what we've activated within OxyExtras, head over here to the OxyExtras menu, and you'll see that we've activated the burger trigger, which will then trigger the menu. The light box is active but not needed. The off canvas is needed, the pro accordion not, and the slide menu. So the off canvas, the burger trigger will be used to trigger the off canvas area, and the off canvas area will contain the slide menu and other elements for the menu. To get started then, let's head over to Oxygen. So we'll head over to the templates, and then I'm going to load the main template in Oxygen. Oxygen loading. To create the menu, first thing I'm going to do is add a section, and the section will be placed at the top of the page. Inside that section, I'm going to add a div, and inside that div, I'm going to add a text element, which will become the title of the page or the logo. And the second element I'm going to add is from OxyExtras, and that's going to be the burger trigger, and that is what will be used to trigger the menu. So let's just have a look at that layout. And what I'm going to do in that div is set the layout to horizontal and a line in the middle, and then also set the items with space between so it pushes them to the side. Then I'm going to add the off canvas menu area. So head back to OxyExtras, select off canvas, and inside the off canvas we will of course be adding the slide menu. So we've added those elements, and the slide menu at the moment you'll see is bullet points. I'll head over to the WordPress menu here, and I'm going to choose main navigation, and you'll see now that it changes and some of the behavior is already in place. So we just need to do some formatting there. What you'll also see is that this is on top of the menu, and for this to work we need to have the header menu section above the off canvas section. So to change that, I'm going to head over here to the div, head over to layout, and then I'm going to change the Z index there to 100, and that should bring that text then to the foreground. If it doesn't, then we'll head over to off canvas, we'll go layout, spacing, and I'm going to change that Z index to 10 so that the header bar is above the background. Then we'll change the background color here. I'm going to change that to black. Let's save that. then you'll see that it's still not working correctly. Just make sure that the layout is in fact on. Yes. It's on 10. Right, so that seems to have resolved the issue. Just needed to set that setting in a couple of places. So we'll head over to the section now, and we're going to set all these values to 0 so that the top navigation fits right at the top. Then what I'm going to do is head into my div, and I'm going to change the width of that div then to 100% so it fits all the way across. And then we'll head over to typography, and I'm going to change the color of the text inside that div to white. And we're going to head over to the burger trigger, and I'm going to change the burger trigger scale. I'm going to make the burger trigger larger. I'm also going to change it to white, the line color, so I can see it. And then what I'm going to do to get it to fit is I'm going to give it some padding. So we'll head over to button styles, padding, and I'm going to give it 10 pixels all around. So there we can see the padding is in effect. I'm going to head back to my div, and I'm also going to give that div 10 pixels. Right, and then what I'm going to do is change the name here. Either do it this way, or I can also do it here in the content block. And we'll change the font size then to 40. And we change the font weight, make it a little bit bolder. And there we have our demo site in place. And what we're going to do now is head over to the off canvas, and we're going to add some padding at the top. So here on the layout and spacing, padding at the top, let's make that 100. And that's just so that the menu is visible to us. And what we're also going to do then is set the width of the off canvas to 100%. So we'll do that here. And there we've set the off canvas width. And one last thing that we'd like to do there on that top div is just add some spacing to the right hand side. So it looks like it is in place. Not sure why that's not working. Right, let's head back to the website now and refresh the page. And you'll see that the menu now appears at the top. And if I click on that, the menu item opens and it closes all the way. Right, so let's head back, and we'll just head over to our section. Right, so we'll set the burger line height to 5. Make that a little bit bolder. And the scale, let's just leave that at 1. That'll fit better. And then the button styles, let's add 10 all the way around. And that'll resolve the issue that we were having earlier where the button was all the way to the right. And then what we can do now is go to the burger scale and scale that up. So let's leave it like that. Right, so there we have our burger in place. We'll save that, and what you might want to do in this case is add a black background to the off canvas. And to do that, we'll do that here. So there we've added the black background, and now what we're going to do is go to the slide menu. And in the slide menu, let's have a look at the various items. So there's the menu title, the menu items. So let's have a look at the menu items. And if we make that white there, we can see them. But what we'll do is we'll give them a background color, like a darkish gray. And then what we're going to do is add a border. And the border will just be at the bottom. And we'll make that border with 1. Make that a solid. And we'll just change that border color to something a little bit less bright. Something like that perhaps. And then what we're going to do is add some spacing. And we'll add 5 pixels all around. And that just has that. And because it's on mobile, maybe we want to make that 8 pixels, just a little bit bigger. And because it's on mobile, also just make that font size larger. So head back here to the font size and let's make that 18 pixels. Right, if that's not big enough, we can make that 20. Right, that's starting to look a little bit better. And what we can also do now is in our off canvas is head over here to the layout and spacing. And we're just going to make the padding on the left 0 and the padding on the right 0 so that our menu stretches all the way across the page. So there we have our menu items in place. We have our off canvas nicely spaced. Now we want to add some formatting to the active items. So you'll see here that we have the menu items and we have sub-menu items and current menu item. Let's have a look at a sub-menu item and you'll see it looks exactly the same. So it's pretty hard to distinguish. Let's then head over to the sub-menu item and let's change that background color to something a little bit lighter. And let's also then add some spacing there and let's just give it an indent, say, of 15 pixels. So there you can see there is the background color and you'll see that the item has an indent then of 15. Let's make that a little bit bigger. Let's make that 25. So now we can see that that is a submenu item. We open the other submenu item and that one closes. So immediately highlights as a submenu item. And then if an item is highlighted, we'll head over then to the current menu item. And what we'll do then is we're going to change the background color. Let's make the background color lighter. And then what we'll do is we'll make the color of the text darker. So if it's the current menu item, it stands out very nicely from all the other items on the page. Just go back to submenus. Right. And let's save that. Well, before we save that, let's just head over to this icon, which is the icon here on the right-hand side. And we're not going to change the icon, but we can do that here. What we're going to do is just change the size. So let's just make that stand out a bit more. And what we can also do then is let's make it a different color, just so that it stands out a little bit more. And we can save that. With that saved, we'll head over. Now when we refresh, you'll see that the changes have taken effect. Right, so that's just reloading. Right, so we'll see that our menu bar at the top fits nicely. We'll fix that now. And when I open, you'll see that my menu opens nicely, my submenu. And if I was, say, on hoodies, you'll see now that when I open the menu and I check where I am in the menu, the hoodies tab here will be highlighted. Right, so that loaded. And hoodies is in fact loaded. If I wanted that to expand, then I can head over to my menu and I go to submenus, not submenus, sorry, current menu item, and we set that enable, so that expands menu items to show the current menu item on page load. So that would mean then that now when we refresh and we look at the menu, hoodies will automatically open so that I can see that I'm in the hoodie section. So with that loading, and now when I open the menu, you'll see that hoodies is automatically visible as a submenu of accessories. So that was pretty much how we added the menu, but this is also not very nice because if we accidentally scroll, we lose that top menu bar. So that's easy enough to fix. We'll head over here to the top div, and with the site name and the toggle for the menu, and we'll change that layout then to fixed, and we'll set that to the top of 0. So that is now permanently visible when we're using that menu in the site. Right, so now irrespective of what happens, that remains at the top. And we already have a much nicer menu as compared to the standard menu that we'd be using. This is much more user-friendly. Now, if we wanted to add any other elements, let's say I wanted to add, let's say I want to link this name here to the website, to the home page, then I can go into my link settings, just open, close that, and then here in the actual URL, we just put in a /, and now that is linked to the home page of the website. And you'll see because it's a link, it's a different color. If I want to change that, I can just go to text color here and make that whatever color I want. But in this case, what I'll do is I'm actually going to leave it at that color. And if I wanted to add any other elements, I'd head over to my off canvas item, and I'm going to add a div. Right, so I've added my div, and now I'm going to add an image. And I can just go and grab an image from the website. So let's do this beanie with the logo. Right, and you'll see it stretches side to side. If I want to give that a little bit of a border, I can head over here to size and spacing, make that 10, and then maybe I want to add some text below that or a button. I can do that quite easily. Maybe I'm going to just add a button. And then I'm going to set the width of that button to 100%. So button size, let's head over here to size and spacing, and let's make that width 100. So it's 100%. And then I'm going to get the link for my shop. So head over to the shop. And let's find that right. And let me just get that link. And so now I'm going to change that whole div to a link. So although there is a button, we'll just change it. So that whole area is in fact a link. And then here on sale and maybe limited offer. So there we just have a call to action, and because it's a button, we can style it any way that we want to. Right. So there we have our button. Right, so just a bit of a button there, and let's say we wanted to add a form, I could also do that. So I'm now going to head over here to my website, and I'm going to go and grab myself a form. So in Fluent Forms, let's just grab from that demo form. We'll just copy that shortcode, and what I can do now also in my off canvas area is add a shortcode, paste that in. So now we have a form that will appear here, and just so that we can actually see the form, we're going to give it a background of white, and then we're going to give it size and spacing of 15 pixels. Apply that to all sides. So there we have a form in the back end of our website. And now when I save, we can go and view that on the front end. So we'll head over to the front end of the website. And you'll see here that the demo site menu actually appears here, but we don't want it appearing here. So what I'm going to do then is in the mobile view, advanced layout, I'll just set that to flex. And then what I'll do is head over to all devices and set the layout to none. So now it won't be visible unless we're in the mobile view. So not visible, change to the mobile view, and our menu is visible. And when I click, it opens. I've got my sub navigation working. I scroll down, there's the image. I can click on that. And then I also have a form that I can have my users fill in if that's what I would like them to do. Fully functioning form. So that's just a very quick way to show you how you can add various elements to your website into your menu, how to make a really nice mobile menu. If you feel that you'd want to add this demo site and the button to the bottom of the page, just to make it easier to get to if you're using one hand to navigate the website, then we can head over to that section. We head over to layout, scroll down, and we just head over to that div within the section with the navigation area. We head over to the layout, and then we're going to just move that from the top to the bottom. So now it appears at the bottom. Save that, head over to the website, and now you'll see that the menu appears at the bottom of the page, right? And when I click, it opens. I can then, of course, move this up to the top, and I can navigate down, and of course, then I can just close it like that and click on the logo to head back to the home page. So that might just make it easier for one-handed operation. Let's just change that off canvas then. So here we had layout and spacing, and we're going to change that to 10. We can leave it on 0 actually. Save. Let's refresh. And now you'll see that when I open, I have my menu right near the top of the page, and I can navigate as I need to. So if it was into hoodies, and if I was to open that menu again, hoodies would of course be highlighted. You can of course change the formatting to whatever you want, but this makes it really easy to create really nice, engaging mobile menus using Oxygen and then OxyExtras to add the additional elements to create the menu. So good. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, and thank you for watching.